So the other day I'm scrolling through my YouTube feed and I saw that Nikos had made a video about Titanfall and its community. And in this video he mentions the DDoS attacks and hackers that ruin the game continually throughout its lifespan. I had heard about the hacking before from a friend and that the game was dangerous to even have installed on your computer. But as I watched Nikos' video, one question started to really burn in my mind. Who would do this and why? So I started looking around for an answer. And I had no idea the rabbit hole that I was about to jump into. Strap in, grab a snack, grab a drink, because this story is insane. So I got my answer at face value very quickly from Google. The hacking and DDoS attacks were perpetrated by a user that goes by Juno. One single person who, by themselves, destroyed Titanfall. They became the boogeyman of all Titanfall servers. Juno had managed to secure unprecedented control over the Titanfall multiplayer apparatus, utilizing something the community referred to as a blacklist. If Juno added your name to the blacklist, you would be automatically disconnected from any Titanfall match you attempted to join, rendering the game effectively unplayable. Juno would appear in the Twitch chat of his targets, bragging about another successful hack.
Just ban Juno, ban Banana Split, just ban all those fuckers. Okay, so for context, I've just pissed off the guy that's DDoSing everyone, and now he's gonna blacklist me.
But why they were doing it was still unclear. The hacking tools that Juno used seemed to have profound, mind-boggling reach, able to DDoS players with impunity. Streamers and community members would attempt to circumvent the blacklist by switching accounts or running their game through a VPN, all to no avail. If Juno wanted you, Juno would get you. Eventually, an entity dedicated to saving Titanfall from these rampant attacks came together, calling themselves simply the Save Titanfall project. The ones running this operation came from two main groups, the Remnant Fleet and the No Skill group, rallying together to lobby Respawn for help and to find the identity of Juno so they could be stopped. And the leader of Remnant Fleet, P0358 or Poe, introduced himself as a white hat hacker, someone who was tirelessly working to uncover the precise amalgam of exploits that Juno was using to disrupt the game. And Poe was somewhat of a hero in the Titanfall community. People loved him. He was standing up trying to save the game from the hackers and calling out Respawn for not doing anything to solve the problem.
They love me.
Respawn is incompetent. They removed a lot of the protections from the software engine. Most of this stuff is really easy to fix and incredibly easy to exploit. I made a Twitter reply to Respawn saying that I knew a lot about this stuff and they could contact me and I could help them. Many people gave likes and retweets to get Respawn's attention. Eventually someone from Respawn did reach out to me. I told them that I knew the game really well and that I could help, and they left me on red. Poe explains that he spent countless hours reverse engineering Titanfall, researching its design, and pinpointing the various potential exploits and flaws within the game's engine. And Poe had a past intertwined with Juno themselves. Apparently, back in the day, Juno was one of the many frustrated Titanfall players who sucked at the game and turned to cheating. Wall hacks, aimbots, speed hacks, that kind of thing. The prevalence of these cheaters on the servers was causing a lot of disruption for the tiny Titanfall community. The large amount of cheaters was basically ruining the game, and despite numerous accounts being reported to Respawn, the company wasn't solving the issue. Eventually, the state of the game made Poe decide to take matters into his own hands. The cheaters felt basically immortal. They weren't afraid of anything, nothing could touch them. And it wasn't fair that they got to be so comfortable while annoying the entire player base with nothing to stop them. So Poe decided to use his knowledge of hacking to mess with them, and let them feel a taste of what they do to others. Poe would use commands to break the matchmaking temporarily for a specific player and use this on Juno when he was cheating a couple times to get him out of the server so that people could play normally. Once Juno saw that this was possible, his interest was piqued about how exactly Poe was doing this. Poe said that Juno was special. Most cheaters would go about their day and find something else to do after they got kicked out. Juno didn't. He researched how Poe was able to kick him offline, and eventually, Juno had learned even more than Poe. Poe had inadvertently made this monster. The mission to put a stop to Juno was in full swing, but apparently there was a lot of troubled waters in the Save Titanfall project, and it was all about to blow up. July 4th, 2021, Apex Legends is hacked with a message reading, "If Titanfall is hacked, so is Apex," linking to the Save Titanfall project website. This was obviously seen as the Save Titanfall project holding a gun to Respawn's moneymaker Apex Legends, and saying, "If you won't fix Titanfall, we will ruin Apex Legends." Obviously, a lot of the community was really upset with the Save Titanfall project team, and they were under a lot of pressure, and that's when the project split. Discord messages were leaked between Poe, Red Shield, Dogecoin, and Mr. Steak, all the members of Remnant Fleet, that showed the group's plan to lock down the servers for 48 hours of Apex Legends, basically proving they were behind the Apex hack. And that's when the members of No Skill Group released Operation Red Tape. Coming from the Save Titanfall website itself, they published a 40-page long document filled with screenshots of DMs, Discord conversations, and tweets, pointing out the true perpetrators while also highlighting a strange scheme. Poe and Red Shield. Operation Red Tape would reveal that these two were not only behind the Apex Legends hack, but also behind the Titanfall hacks themselves, with the huge twist being the accusation that Poe and Juno were one and the same the whole time. Furthermore, this was all a ploy in an attempt to actually break Titanfall and Titanfall 2. So the scheme went like this. Poe, Red Shield, and their friends would gain notoriety and fame in the community while breaking the game, then offering ways to fix it to Respawn, hoping the support of the community and their knowledge of hacking would land one of them a job at Respawn, where they would then have full access to the Titanfall source code to use for Titanfall Online. They wanted the main Titanfall games to fail, so the players would have nowhere left to turn except Titanfall Online. I don't know if they were associated with the company behind Titanfall Online, or they just wanted to rule Titanfall as the new kings, or maybe they were trying to build a paradise where Titanfall players could enjoy the game without the fear of hackers. I don't really know why they would do this. Operation Red Tape also alleged that Remnant Fleet were putting out misinformation and sending people on wild goose chases after this phantom Juno character, helping keep the heat off of themselves. You can only imagine the betrayal that the Titanfall community felt when it was revealed to them that Poe, this beloved hero and pillar of the community, was actually the one ruining the game this entire time. And what's more, apparently this elaborate scheme had been in the making for months, being planned behind the scenes meticulously by Remnant Fleet. But as you might expect, Remnant Fleet weren't about to take this sitting down. In the aftermath of Operation Red Tape, Poe's reputation as a hero in the Titanfall community was destroyed. They felt betrayed. And most news articles actually report Poe and Red Tape as the hackers behind the Titanfall DDoSing. But Poe and some of the other members from Remnant Fleet put together a counter document to address Operation Red Tape, equally filled with their own evidence. In this counter document, Poe would come forward and admit that Mr. Steak and Dogecoin did the Apex Legends hack, but that he himself and Red Shield weren't a part of it. They learned of it while it was happening. Poe remained silent on this after the fact because Mr. Steak and Dogecoin were too valuable to him to lose. However, Poe would deny all the allegations that he was Juno or that he was the Titanfall DDoSer. In this counter document, Poe and his team actually in great detail claim to have found the real identity, address, and phone number of the actual Juno. They called his phone number to get a confession and recorded it, and even sent mail to the house getting his wife involved. The No Skill Group would say that this was doxing and harassment of an innocent man. So the No Skill Group maintains to this day that Poe and Juno were one and the same, and that Poe was doing all this in an elaborate attempt to pump up Titanfall Online for his own means. Poe would counter by saying that he was a hacker with a group of hackers and had made some missteps, but the DDoSing attacks behind Titanfall were not him, and that Juno is a separate entity out there trying to ruin the game for an unknown purpose. So was Poe behind the Titanfall attacks or not? I'll let you come to your own conclusions.